What's going on, YouTube? It's Chance with another Shy Hammer. What is wrong with the T9A Orc Goblin book? Or Orc Goblin download? Because somebody wanted to correct me and say, what? You guys have books? Okay, first off, you guys are a bunch of smartasses. You know that. I mean, I'm probably part of the bunch there too, but you guys are a bunch of smartasses. Sometimes I say stuff, and I just say it really fast, and you guys freaking like jump on it. Pounce! Pounce! Anyways, so I was thinking about it today. I woke up this morning and I was thinking about what should I talk about next. I mean, there's one thing that I want to bring up was War Machines. War Machines kind of, you know, tick me at the same time. But War Machines kind of get played. I will do a video on War Machines, but this is not that video. But what I decided to go with is the Big and Nasty. The Big and Nasty is, there's some things that Orc and Goblin book has right. I said it. I said it. And one of them is the Gargantula Spider. That thing is a thing of beauty, and I love her. Both the spiders that I have, and that is currently why you see almost every list has pretty much 2 spiders. Now that is where the problem lies. Every list has 2 spiders. Now you can, I believe, with max points in monsters, you could take 2 spiders and 2 wyvern lords, and you have yourself a monster mash list. But that is pretty much the maximum I've seen taken with monsters based on points. I've tried to do 2 spiders and a Green Idol, and it works under just the Big and Nasty section, but the minute you try to add a web launcher, it doesn't work. And the minute you try to do a guy on a Spidershrine or a Goblin King on a spider, it just doesn't work, because the Goblin King on a spider all of a sudden costs 500 points instead of that 480, which for some reason they just decided, hey, screw it, you pay 200 points more, or 20 points more for a model that's like 1,000 points. Anyways, so my two main things are the Green Idol. As you guys know, I love playing with Crom. You know, Crom is a bastard for me. I think that the T8 is, again, I'm going over what is good and also what is bad on this video, because I feel like the Big and Nasty has good qualities that we should not lose because we want to fix it by doing something else. I think the Green Idol being in the Big and Nasty section is perfect, because if you want to use it, it's going to take away from the spiders. I believe that currently at the moment the spiders are on a tier of their own, where the other 3 monsters that are in there, which is the Wyvern, the Giant, and the Green Idol, struggle to come out on the table. Alright, part of that is because the Green Idol has 3 attacks. If you get the Devastating Charge off, which I've heard mixed things about, like, oh, he doesn't benefit from his own buff, which I'm like, why wouldn't he not benefit from his own buff? But he gets 3 attacks, potentially 4 if he charges with Devastating Charge. And if, for those of you who are wondering, I fucked up my finger like 2 weeks ago. I got hit by a car and it's been bruised ever since. But it's not like I have a paint spot that doesn't go away. But anyways, he has 3 attacks. He has 4 if he gets the Devastating Charge off. He gets and he's at weapon skill 2. Weapon skill 2. That is horseshit. That is the worst stat line offensively out of every single monster. That is by far not even like the staple monster line is weapon skill 3. Like every other monster that is just like a so-so monster, not like a freaking extreme aggressive monster, is weapon skill 3. And even the extreme aggressive ones are still weapon skill 3 and get a shit ton more attacks. What the fuck? That's horrible. Crom, what are you doing, Crom? I mean, seriously. So I get why he's weapon skill 2, and this might be fixed. This might be fixed in the newer update that they're doing, the split weapon skill. You know, offensive weapon skill and defensive weapon skill. Because I understand that weapon skill 2 is supposed to be for the fact that they want, he's T8, so they want you to have more hits on him to try to get those 6s off without giving it to you too easy. The problem with that is when he swings back, he misses every hit pretty much 99% of the time. And you guys are all like, well, mathematically, you guys, you can fucking put your math in the fucking comment section. It's cool. I don't pay attention. Because there's math and there's what really happens in the game. There's statistics on paper, and oh, if you get this unit in fully functioning, you could get this many attacks and kill whatever. No, and then there's shit that happens in the game. And if you guys don't believe me, you could ask my buddy Pete Reese when I played him, and I had 64 Savage Orc attacks with Devastating Charge, Horde Formation, paired weapons, and I got off into his Kingsguard and I killed 9. Mathematically, that should not happen, but shit happens. Okay? Shit happens. Anyways, so the Green Idol's 3 attacks or 4 attacks, and God forbid you can't Thunderstomp. The one other thing I do like about him is he does get a D3 impact hit, strength 6. I feel like that's a good thing about him, but I feel like the 2 aura buffs, I like the 2 aura buffs. That's why I actually play him. I feel like he struggles with the fact that he's faster than the rest of the unit, so he tends to wander off by himself as a monster would. And I feel like the buffs kind of fail back. I do believe that I think his point cost is perfect. I think it's you're not paying for a spider, but when you go ahead and compare him to the spider's getting around 16 attacks. 16, okay? We're talking about all of them together, plus Thunderstomp. Whereas the Idol is getting 3, maybe 4, with a Thunderstomp and D3 impact hits. Alright, so what ends up happening here is the Idol just pales in comparison to the Spider. Spider is mobile, fast, strider, freaking always swift stride, always has so many attacks that it's eventually going to tear up. It does good at killing monsters. It does good at killing infantry. Whereas Crom has a hard time with one or both of those. Crom can kill a monster by doing a crush attack. Can. But he's weapon skill 2. And the higher end monsters are weapon skill 5 with distracting. So I'm hitting you on a 6 with a 1 chance with 1 dice on a 6. I might hit you with a crush attack. You know, like things like that. Just kind of like, well, what the fuck? You know, seriously, what the fuck? Initiative 2, slowest thing in the game. All right, or one of the slowest things. Excuse me, not a zombie, but one of the slowest things in the game. It's like, all right. Now, the T8 is something that's going well for it, like I said. Something I mentioned in my other video about Orcs and Goblins with Hatred. Orcs and Goblins do not have any rerolls by any means in any part of their book. The only... Actually, I take that back. Cave Goblins can reroll against Dwarves. Whoop-de-fucking-do, because my Strength 3 Cave Goblins are really going to screw up your fucking 3-up armored Dwarves with 5-up ward. But the book itself lacks... hatred. The book itself lacks synergy. And I believe, and I've mentioned this on a post in the forums before, that I believe that you're missing out so much potential with synergy in the Idol. You know, I believe the Idol can be a contender for those monster points. And if they want to be a contender for the monster points, not character points, not no other kind of points, I'm talking about straight up monster points. All right. Is you keep it as a monster. You keep it, I mean, like, you got to think of the technical model that people are using for this is a giant stone creature. All right? And granted, it's from a game that shall not be named, and I didn't even bother using that model, but I understand that people wanted to use it as, or they try to make it a BSB, which, you know, fun things is with BSBs, you could give them different magical banners, but seriously, no ward save. And you only have 6 wounds. Yeah, you're T8, but I've yet to play a game where people don't kill it. And the number one reason why they kill it is because he runs. He's not stubborn. So you're telling me this giant stone creature that is running around like, you know, possessed demon gets scared of like a horde of guys coming at him because he's not hitting them. God forbid I roll a 1 on a Thunderstomp. All of a sudden, this giant horde of guys comes at me with spears, and this giant stone creature's like, oh shit, they have spears! There's so many of them! There's banners! Ah! And fucking runs away. That makes no sense. It just makes no sense. Just, I don't. Maybe if you guys gave us the fluffs, maybe if you guys gave us the books to see what the hell we're working with, and we're like, oh yeah, that's why he fucking ran away, because he's scared of his fear. His father died of mobs, hordes with freaking pitchforks and flaming freaking torches. But I think if you give him some sort of hatred, if you give it, I mean, I think he had hatred before. I never played with it at that time though. But if you gave him some sort of hatred, or give out a buff, I mean, give out a buff for hatred, like a magical bound spell. I think bound spells would be a way to fix not only him but also the Spidershrine. I think bound spells would give him access to spells that you cannot otherwise get in our army book, and basically it doesn't become an auto include. I mentioned this in my other video. I don't think it becomes an auto include, because when you're comparing two spiders to a monster that could potentially give you a magical buff, you start to think like, where do I want to spend my monster points on? And I know I'm probably shooting myself in the foot, because right now my current list has 2 spiders and the idol, but I would like to see synergy with the army. I would like to see the army actually do well without having to be extremely competitive. I'm an extremely competitive person. I get crabby when I start to lose. I get antsy, and I start to think, you know, I'm right now I'm looking at a game where Tough Nuts playing, was it Aglion, you know what I mean? I constantly play this game, and you should not have to play the game as much as I do to see these things. You should not have to play the game as much as I do to try to be competitive in this game. Okay? And it's hard for an Orc and Goblin book to, like, there's no synergy. There's shit strength on mounts, there's shit strength on goblins, there's shit initiative, there's shit leadership, there's shit monsters. So what do you see being played? Wyvern, Gargantula, Pyromancy, bows, and a couple war machines. Because you know why? That's the only thing that does good in the whole book. You know? Like I said, 64 attacks, devastating charge, paired weapons, frenzy. Alright? 64 attacks. Okay? I got 9 wounds. You know why? I whiffed. That's simple. There was no buffs up on dwarves. They have enough armor to get some armor saves. But you know why? I have no hatred. That should be a overwhelming amount of shots that are or hits that just blow up and eviscerate a unit. You know why I whiff? Because A, they're better weapon skill than me. Okay, well, that happens. That should negate half. That should give you about 30 hits. Okay? 32. Alright, but if I had a hatred, and again, I have the idol in that list. I have the idol right there with the combat. Alright? But it should be a reason why, that should be a reason alone why an army should have chaff. But you know why people don't take chaff? Because there's pretty much very little points for it at the current game. Current game, you're going to get hit with fireballs and pyromancy so fast that you don't benefit from them. And there's no reason to stop a charge from savage orcs like that, because you're probably going to win. You're probably going to outgrind them. You know, yeah, I'll get a couple impact hits and a couple one thunderstomp, and then you take 9 wounds from freaking 60-something attacks. I think I lost that combat, to be honest. Anyways, and again, I said it's partially shit rolls, but at the same time, it's partially what's wrong with the Savage Orc Ed Bashers at the moment. Is just there's no hatred, there's no reroll, and I think if you give a bound spell to the idol, or even a buff to the idol that gives a hatred, it starts to show more value. You know, it's going on to and not only that, but the crush attack as well. When you're weapon skill 2 and you're trying to hit something that's worth a damn, you're probably hitting them on 5s or even 6s. And I'm gonna be honest, I've gone into numerous combats where I'm trying to hit something and it's weapon skill 5 with distracting, And all of a sudden, it's like, okay, I'm hitting you on a 6. Let me fucking 1 out of 6 chance this. Nope. 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 And I'll be stuck there because they're not wounding the idol at T8, but I'm just keep trying and keep trying and keep trying, you know? And eventually I'll lose because somebody gets a charge into my flank. I decline that call, Mom. All right. So the other thing I need to talk about is the Spidershrine. Spidershrine is not being used as well. And again, like I'm saying, I'm making all these videos because I want you guys to see that there's a whole book. There's a whole I'm making shit up because I don't even bother doing my research too much. But there's, say, 40 different units in the Orc and Goblin book, which is supposed to be like more than any other book, period. And I get that there was a GW thing specifically. Let me respond to my mom before she keeps calling me. Busy. Call you in a few. Thank you. Choppy phone. Alright. So, I get that there's too many units in the ONG book, but at the same time, when you look at how many units are actually being played, I can tell you right now, Wyvern Lord, Wizard, alright? Maybe a Goblin King or Lord running around as a cowboy, okay? You got Common Goblins and Cave Goblins, alright? You have your Spider, War Machines, and we're talking about 2 to 3 different War Machines, okay? So you're getting about roughly about 10 units, or maybe even closer to 12 units if you include like a set of random trolls you'll find running around, or black orcs. So there's a whole chunk of the book. There's a whole chunk of the book, and you guys could, you guys are probably seeing it yourself. You probably don't see a majority of these, and it happens to me. I come to tournaments and people look at my army and they're like, wait, what does that do? Because I've never seen that before. I've never seen that unit attack before. I've never seen that unit in combat before. And I like to play army pieces that people don't like to play. I like to try to challenge myself and challenge the opponent to see different things with units that nobody ever plays. And part of that issue is that the book is only, and this is not only our book, but this is every book. Every book has those units that are favorite units that are auto include. And the thing is, they start saying, well, we don't want to auto include. We want to just nerf that because we don't want it to be an auto include. And like I said in the other video, if you keep nerfing everything, there's nothing worth taking. And if instead of that, and somebody mentioned it in a comment in my video, in the Lizardman book, there's so much that you want to bring because everything is good. Everything is good, so it starts to make your points be extremely tight on what you want to bring because things start to take up points. You know? I don't have that issue. My issue is I'm capped at the points of stuff I want to bring because there's nothing good in the other sections. I'm capped on characters because I can't bring another goddamn character. I would rather bring... I know my buddy Tom Taylor, he says that... you know, he hates it because it's becoming Hero Hammer. It's becoming these unkillable lords on top of freaking things and mounts and stuff like that are basically destroying armies. And it's true. It is true. I've seen it. I play it. Because the units don't do as much as they should. The monsters aren't doing as much as they should. I mean, except for my spiders here. And that's an issue. And I think that, again, bringing an idol should... give you some benefits. I don't know what that is. It's like a choir or something outside. Or is it the TV next door? I don't know. I can hear that. Anyways, yeah, the idol should give a benefit for the reason why people want to kill it faster. People should want to kill it. People should want to chaff it. People should want to keep it away. You know, and people are like, oh, T8's too strong. Have you ever fought anybody with 2 cannons? Because I've fought plenty. The idol dies like that. Alright? And people will shoot it because they're like, well, that thing's T8. And if it gets in my combat in with a unit, then I'm going to be stuck there. Alright? The other thing is the Spidershrine. I keep on kind of getting to it and then stopping. The Spidershrine is something that never sees the light of day. And I just talked to Jeremy yesterday about this. Got talk about this yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, it's so good. It gives you lore master." Yeah, okay. Whoop de fucking do. I get to pick my 4 pyromancy spells because there's no other lore that's really worth a damn taking on the spider. So if you look at it, okay, you have access to 3 lores on goblins. All right, and I even forgot what the third one is. Thaumaturgy, I think, maybe. And I understand thaumaturgy is supposed to be like, oh, you got the god spells, and it's the god grants and God taketh away, and everything's so random. It's so random, and I used to love random in Orc and Goblin books, but it's so random that and it's so dangerous for a damn spider because you could miscast easy on 3 or 4 dice and freaking blow up half your wounds. Um, it is so random that it's not even worth taking on, especially on a goblin on a spider shrine. Um, the pyromancy is the end all be all, but then when you take pyromancy on a spider, you can't do half the freaking spells because you're stuck in close combat with a combat monster with the shaman on there. And then when you use witchcraft, which witchcraft has a lot of buffs and debuffs that actually help out the spider. um, let's look at this. You got -1 to hit, which is good. All right, you got half the shooting range, which helps you out because you probably don't want to get shot. All right, um, you get what's the other ones? Raven's Wing, which is always awesome. You get to move around. You get the Stupidity, which is also awesome. And I've even heard rumors that they're probably going to nerf that from what it does right now, because right now it currently lowers the leadership and gives you stupid based on how many people are in the unit, which is great against these Death Stars, against these stubborn 10 Death Stars. If you give them 3 characters -3 leadership. But I've heard that they want to nerf that too, and that's a totally different story. That's probably actually a video coming out when the new magic spells come out. Um, and not only that, you got hit on 4s, wound on 4s, which doesn't help the spider at all. It actually hurts the spider because most things are probably going to wound it on 5s or 6s. So there's nothing. I mean, the witchcraft has this much that could help out the spider shrine and having lore master and picking your spells. But besides that, it's not worth it. And again, you can take all these same exact spells on a guy on foot in a back on a bunker somewhere, and he'll be much safer than on top of a spider, which is a giant red flag, red target. That's 1,000 points that will get cannoned, will get shot, will get freaking divination spelled and evocation spelled and freaking everything at it. The thing is, you're paying for 80 points on top of a spider, on top of a character on the spider, to have access to the shrine. You have access to the shrine for what? +1 to channel and lore master. It's not that good. I think, well, it's okay. Don't get me wrong, it's okay. It's just there's no point of me spending those points there instead of just buying a spider and instead of buying a guy. And the one way to fix that, is give your wizard access to something that you don't currently have. And then you'll start to see it. And if you give your wizard access to bound spells that actually have synergy with the spider and the army, you'll start to see spider shrines. You'll start to see less Zods and more space rocks with a wizard on it, or chicken rocks, or A rocks. All right. You will, if you give them bound spells that boost poison like it used to, or give you rerolls, hits, and wounds on the flanks like it used to, or I know they took out vortexes, but the vortex was just so good, or that reroll 6 spell, or anything of the old goblin lore from that spider on there, and people are going to be like, oh no, we only want to stick with these 8 lores. Okay, but 8 lores, but dwarves have their own set of bound spells, beasters have their own set of bound spells. Why can't we? Why can't we have something that gives Orc and Goblin a little bit more flavor, a little bit more fluff? And that is the number one complaint that people gave about Magic Lores when it came out, is you took away flavor from this race-specific spells. And I'm one of those people who say that, because I understand 100% you took out flavor from that army that had synergy with their magic spells at the time. So it's a way to fix it. It's a way to start to see it on the table. Anybody who's been playing a Spidershrine, I would like to see what you have in the comment section below, because I'm going to tell you right now, I might see one comment. But at the moment, I'm getting like 70 or 80 comments on these videos. And, you know, most of the units that people are arguing about, nobody plays them. Nobody plays them. Okay? There was one guy who commented on my boar video that played a giant brick of boars. That's it. That's it. One person. All right? And, you know, you guys, again, the first video I put out, I made like, hey, we should have a shit ton more attacks. And I understand that might not have been the proper way, and some people might have think, oh, Shyhammer's like Bernie Sanders promising pipe dreams. No, I'm just trying to come up with ideas, guys. I'm trying to help us help them understand what is wrong with the frickin' book, and you need to fix it. God. Anyways. So, those are my two gripes. Spidershrine, Green Idol not being useful. Giant sucks, but Giant sucks everywhere. And I also heard through the grapevine that they're just going to rework Giant. So I'm not really going to touch on the Giant, just because it might just, we'll see what happens with it. I don't know. I mean, they're reworking the Giant system entirely, and it's just a random monster to begin with. The points are actually kind of cheap for what it does. So Giants are okay. I'm not entirely against Giants. I'm against that 6-up ward. I hate the fucking 6-up ward. You know, I understand I'd rather have a 6-up ward than no ward, but at the same time, a 6-up ward is no 6-up ward is no ward. The Wyvern mount section, and this is something that came up with me as well, is the amount of character points you spent on a character on a Wyvern and a character on a Spider. Just destroy your character points, which really hinders the Orc and Goblin book. But you know, I mean, there's obviously powerful combos like the Feral Orc on a Wyvern with an Axe of Apocalypse. Part of the problem with him, though, is he only has a 5-up armor, 4-up armor. Not even. I'm sorry. He's naked. He has a shield. He has a 6-up armor unless you buy armor, which will get him to a 4-up armor. The other Wyvern, the Iron Orc Wyvern on Iron Orc Warlord on Wyvern, he can be good, but the thing is, at this point in the game, you're dealing with either you want to give him a flaming ward because there's so much pyromancy around, or you basically want to. There's so much clipped wings going around still, you know, which I do believe that catapults being nerfed down to strength 7 has hurt. That's a totally different thing. I don't have that much time to go on to that, but that, you guys know there's a strength nerf and catapults, which basically means there's more solo characters running around. So anyways, guys, that's all I got for today. I'm sorry that I rambled on for a bit there, but if you guys have any feedback, put it down below. If you guys have better suggestions than what I've given, put it down below. I am one that mentioned that maybe giving druidism to a spider goblin, so that way it gives a different path entirely. And I know I've got shot down on that one. Yeah, druidism, they don't believe in life and love and divinity and nature. And it's like, just give them something different so that you could take a spider character on a spider versus not taking a character on a spider. Because I would rather just I'd take my freaking forest goblins on foot, you know. And there's no point in me putting them on a spider. There's no point in me putting, you know, spending 450 points plus another 80 points to take another spider, you know. I'd rather take those character points elsewhere. Anyways, guys, I hope that helps. That's all I got for you today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Probably War Machines, but if you guys have any other suggestions, put it down below, and I'll like to talk to you then. Peace.